Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to all the wonderful people gathered here, members of the community and parents and community activists, but especially the members of our pre-K and 3K outreach team. Give them a big round of applause. We have a lot of very fashionable shirts in the New York City government, but this is probably the best one, the Pre-K for All shirt. Beautiful, very stylish. And the wonderful people who wear it, thank you for all you do, making sure that our children get pre-K and 3K they need. Well, we just had a great visit to a classroom, and it was absolutely magical. The class, it was a pre-K class, and they sang La Pequeña Araña. And that is also known as the Itsy Bitsy Spider. A classic, and I want to say to the children here at PS 128 who sang that song, Que bonito. They did an amazing job. It was beautiful, and it really showed the power of what's happening here. Not only did we see a class full of very engaged children, really focused and really enjoying what they're learning in the classroom because they have great teachers who are teaching them, but they can do it in both English and Spanish. And that is amazing. What that means for them and their futures is absolutely outstanding. So we saw something really special here, and PS 128 has been one of the pioneers in terms of dual language, recognizing that kids at this age, I mean, this is what's so magical about early childhood education. Kids can learn in an extraordinary way in the first 5 years of their lives. And it's that classic thing I think a lot of adults have experienced. If you go to a foreign country and you're an adult, it might be hard to pick up the language, but little kids can pick it up almost instantly, it feels like, because their minds are expanding so quickly. They're going through so much growth. Well, here at this school, they're recognizing that amazing learning moment and taking full advantage of it and helping kids to grow in both English and Spanish. So it's really amazing what's happening here. And I want to give a shout out and a thank you to everyone at PS 128 for the great work you're doing. But we're here to tell a bigger story, which is to remind parents all over New York City that applications are now out for both pre-K and 3K, and it's time to apply. It's time to make sure that your child gets that wonderful start in life, that wonderful start on the pathway to learning, and that every family makes sure that their child who can go to pre-K or 3K starts right away with that application. Now, we've just put out the applications. They're literally available starting today. And the application deadline is March 15th for pre-K. It is May 3rd for 3K. So parents, I want to tell you, I was a public school parent for all of the education of both my son and my daughter. I want to say it is so important to get that application in right away and put in the schools that you're interested in and get going with that process, because you want to make sure you get what's right for you and your family. So everyone, if you need an application, you can call 311 or you can go online to myschools.nyc and get that application right away. And it's a simple 2-page application, and we really like simple applications because we want to make it easy for parents to get 3K and pre-K for their kids. I want to thank so many people here who have been really supportive of everything we're doing to expand early child education, and that starts with our elected officials. We know that we're going to need help as we build out everything we're doing here in New York City. 3K is growing all the time, and I've said over time we're going to need some help from Washington, some help from Albany to make it everything it should be. And now we have in Washington, in the majority in the House of Representatives, we like him in the majority, Congressman Adriano Espaillat, thank you. And a proud son of this neighborhood who has gone so far, and an example of the American dream right here, now in a position to help us achieve these goals for so many kids. And then the City Council has been extraordinarily supportive of early childhood education. We never could have achieved everything that we've achieved without the support of the City Council. And I know he has been focused on education throughout his entire career, from the time he was a student activist all the way to now as a council member. And I want to thank him for that intensive focus on the schools in this community. Council Member Ydanis Rodriguez. And to the leaders from our Department of Education who are making all this miraculous work happen every day here in this community. Executive Superintendent Marisol Rosales, thank you. A superintendent with an amazing name. And Chancellor, you may know my baseball affiliations. If ever the superintendent does something you find unusual, you just say, that's Manny being Manny, okay? That's an inside baseball joke. But District 6 Superintendent Manny Ramirez, thank you. And the principal of this amazing school, Carrie Pantaleon, thank you so much. You have a fan club. All right, we like that. Now, I want to give some advice to parents because both my kids went to full-day pre-K. And it is a moment when your kids start at pre-K or 3K, it's a little hard for a parent to let go. It's hard to let go of that tiny little hand on the first day of school. But let me tell you, you will have the experience that I had. The first few days, my kids were like they wouldn't let go. They didn't want to go into the classroom. A few days later, I would come to get them at the end of the day. They didn't want to leave the classroom. They wanted to stay, and they wanted to play with their friends, and they wanted to be with their teachers. And I had to talk them into going home each night. And that's what happens. That's the magic of pre-K and 3K. Our kids learn, and they grow, and they create beautiful friendships. And it's something amazing to watch. And I'll tell you something, I've talked to teachers all over the city who say you can tell immediately when a child has had the advantage of early childhood education, that they're much more able to handle the subject matter before them, they're better behaved, they know how to play with others, they know how to follow the instructions of the teachers. What happens in pre-K and 3K sets the foundation for everything after. And it's so important that every single parent take advantage of this opportunity. By the way, did I mention it's free? It's free, everybody. And before we had universal pre-K, we had a lot of parents in this town paying $10,000, $15,000, or even more per child, Now, think about a family with 2 kids who has their child go through both 3K and pre-K. That family is going to save $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 or more because now pre-K is free and available to all, and 3K is growing all the time. In September, there'll be 20,000 kids in this city in 3K, and it's growing all the time. And in the next few years, we're going to have 3K in every single district in the city. So this is an amazing opportunity to help our kids move forward, but also to help our families make ends meet. It's just great all around, but we have to make sure the word spreads. We have to make sure everyone gets those applications in. So I want to tell you what we saw here today is part of something really, really exciting. I love pre-K, I love 3K, but dual language pre-K. This is something amazing because of all the opportunity it's going to create for our kids. It is growing all the time. So in September, 47 new pre-K classes with dual language. And overall in the city, that's going to mean about 2,000 kids getting dual language pre-K. That's absolutely amazing, and what it's going to mean for their futures. And by the way, in a world that's more connected than ever, having that second language is an amazing advantage. It's going to open up opportunity. It's going to allow our young people to be able to have all sorts of amazing jobs in the future. It's a real blessing, and it really exemplifies the values of this place. Because one of the things that's amazing and beautiful about New York City is we respect all people. We don't care what their first language is or their second language is. We don't care where they come from. They're part of our community, contributing to this place being the greatest city in the world. We respect and honor everybody. And we're happy to see our young people learn a second language. We think that's healthy. We think that's good for everybody. So we're going to be doing a lot more of that. The vision we have is to be the fairest big city in America, to be a place where there's really opportunity for everybody and everyone feels they're treated fairly. And this is an example of it. When you give families what they need, pre-K and 3K for free, it changes their lives. It gives everyone a chance. And that's what we're all about here. And I want to say one more thing before I give you a few words in Spanish, that we were able to do this in record time. And I want to thank, there's people in the room here. I saw our Deputy Chancellor, Josh Wallach, walked in, one of the architects of pre-K. We thank you, Deputy Chancellor. Everyone here, including the teachers, the principals, everyone who helped to create pre-K. I want to remind you that we built pre-K in record time. When I took office, there were 20,000 New York City kids getting full-day pre-K. 2 years later, there were 70,000, and it was a universal right, and that's what it will always be. And 3K was not even an idea in the beginning of this administration, and the more we looked at the success of pre-K, we said we have to go the next step. And we started small to test it out, but as I said, this coming September, there'll be 20,000 kids in 3K, and it will grow every year thereafter, to the point that it too will be universal. Why were we able to do something so big and so fast? Adding first a whole nother grade and then another grade on top of that to our schools to make our kids that much better educated, give them that much better a start in life. Why were we able to do that? Because we knew it was the most important thing and we made it a priority, and because we had mayoral control of education. Mayoral control of education allowed me, as the person held accountable, to give the instruction and make sure that everyone in the DOE, everyone in all the agencies was working together to get it done, and we got it done in record time. Because when someone is held responsible by the people, things can actually work, and things can actually happen, and they can happen fast. So it's so important that we continue mayoral control of education so we can keep making this kind of progress. With that, I want to say a few words in Spanish. El acceso a la educación preescolar es esencial para todos los niños de Nueva York. Por eso estamos ofreciendo más pre-K en 2 idiomas que nunca. Llegó la hora de inscribirse. Llame al 311 y pida que le conecte con el programa preescolar gratis que sea mejor para su familia. Now, I want to say that was my best effort in Spanish. If I had gone to dual language pre-K at PS 128, I would be much better, but I did not have the opportunity. I did not have the opportunity, so I'm doing my best to catch up now. Now, I have a very special privilege at this moment that I have here with me a 3K application. And I want to just remind everyone, this application is I give everyone credit who did this. It's 2 pages. It's really simple. It's really, I as a parent remember forms that drove me crazy and I could not make sense of. This is something that every parent can work with. A simple application form, and just by filling out this application form, you open the gateway to your child getting a great education. So these forms are available today. We want every parent with a 4-year-old or a 3-year-old in this city to start applying and making sure they have opportunity for their children. And I have a parent right here I'd like to call forward, Michelle Colindres, who has a son, Luke, who is 3 years old. And Michelle has an opportunity right now to make sure that Luke gets that extraordinary start in life. And she's going to talk about the experience she's already had with her other child in pre-K and why she knows it's so important. But first, Michelle, I'd like to give you an application. Come on over. Oops. Hold on, I'm going to make you taller. Thank you. You don't even need an application. You just get taller.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good afternoon. My name is Michelle Colindres, and I live in New York City with my husband, Danny, and our 2 children who are sitting right there. Michaela, who is in kindergarten here at PS 128, and Luke, who we hope will be in 3K.
Luke knows what he wants.
He does. Thank you, Mr. Mayor de Blasio, for the application. I'm going to start filling it out this afternoon. Michaela started at PS 128 a year and a half ago in pre-K dual language, the Spanish program. My husband is from Honduras, and it's very important to both of us that our children are bilingual. We try to speak at home as much as we can, but it can be challenging. Pre-K was a great opportunity for Michaela to be fully immersed in the language. Each day, she would play, read books, sing songs, learn colors, numbers, shapes, and interact with other children in her classroom setting in both English and Spanish. It was an incredible experience, but at times it was hard. She would get frustrated, and of course we would get frustrated, but we stuck with it. With the amazing support from Miss Capella, I don't know, I saw her, and the school staff here at PS 128, we stuck through. And now she's in dual language, Spanish, kindergarten, and she is thriving. She's learning to read and write in both English and Spanish and getting better each day. We're speaking more Spanish at home as we can as a family, and even Luke is picking it up as well. Nothing makes us happier when hearing Luke say the words that he's learned from his sister, like casa or leche. Our children love music, singing and dancing to their favorite songs around our home. More and more, they're singing songs in both English and Spanish. Everything from Wheels on the Bus or Los Pollitos Dicen Pío, Pío, Pío. One day, our hope is for both of our children to be fully bilingual. And it'll be thanks to PS 128. We are so excited to hear that PS 128 will be offering 3K and for the first time next year, and that Luke may be able to attend. My husband and I work full-time, and right now we're paying out of pocket for home-based daycare. And of course, it's very expensive. We can't wait for Luke to be in a classroom setting where he can learn to be more independent, developing his social skills, motor skills, and learning to do things on his own. And of course, it'll be good for our checkbook. We can't wait to have both kids in the same school, hopefully 1 year earlier than we thought. Thank you to PS 128 for all you have done for Michaela and our family, and for the opportunity that you're giving Luke this September. I would like to now introduce School's Chancellor, Richard Carranza.
There you go. You did it right.
Gracias. Thank you.
You nailed it.
Good morning, and thank you, Michelle. How about another round of applause for Michelle? She's a natural. So I want to welcome you all here to PS 128, an incredible school with an incredible energy. And Mr. Mayor, I also want to, you've recognized so many of our incredible partners that are here today, but I also want to recognize our new Deputy Chief Academic Officer for Multilingual Learners, which is Mirza Sanchez Medina. Mirza, thank you for being here. Dual language, that's her role. And also here is a gentleman who has been an absolute cornerstone in our community around our expansion of dual language. He's been just a pillar in making that happen. I want to recognize publicly Mariano Guzman, our senior advisor to the Chancellor. Mariano, thank you for being here as well. Of course, all of our executive superintendent are Manny's just Manny, superintendent. Manny Ramirez,
That's Manny being Manny.
Manny being Manny. But he's our superintendent. We're proud of him. And our incredible principal, Carrie Pantaleon, who started as a teacher here at PS 128 and was an assistant principal, is now the principal. So thank you for your leadership. Gracias. So with your permission, because we're celebrating not only pre-K and 3K and the applications today, we're celebrating the love of language and the dual language. I'm going to start my remarks in Spanish. How about that? So, es un orgullo estar aquí en PS 128 a celebrar que estamos iniciando la época de aplicaciones para los programas de educación tempranos. Ahora, yo no digo que es preeducación, es educación empezando temprano. Entonces quiero decirles a todos en nuestras familias hispanoparlantes que por favor no gasten ningún momento en llenar sus solicitudes, escoger sus salones, las escuelas en donde quieren que sus hijos estén estudiando y que entreguen esas formas. Es importantísimo. Si necesitan ayuda, solamente tienen que marcar el 311 para más información, pero es un signo de gran orgullo de este alcalde, de nuestra administración, apoyar estos programas de que están dándole mucho beneficio a nuestra comunidad. So, with that, one of the reasons I came to New York City was because of this mayor's commitment to early childhood education. Mayor de Blasio has now set the standard, not in just New York State, but across the country for what it means to have high-quality pre-K and 3K programming that is ubiquitous and available to all of our families. You see, the research is clear. Pre-K gets children ready for kindergarten and puts them on a path for success throughout their time in school. But the mayor's research is clear, and I've read that research as well. And we know that students who attend 2 years of preschool are even better prepared. In fact, there's a lot of talk about the opportunity gap between certain subgroups of our students, yet the research and its evolving shows clearly that when students are involved in an early, high-quality preschool education, those gaps shrink to the point of almost elimination by the time they enter kindergarten. So this is truly equity and excellence manifested. So today is a huge day for the young children and families of New York City as we expand our 3K for All to 20,000 families in all 5 boroughs, including the families right here in District 6 for the very first time. Estamos iniciando aquí en el Distrito 6. As we add 47 new pre-K dual language programs across our city. Now, I don't want that to be lost. Not only are we expanding, as the mayor said, and adding 2 whole grade levels, we're doing that in a dual language way. We're honoring languages in the city of New York City. Just now, we saw evidence of the unprecedented opportunity we have with these young learners for them to become multilingual, multicultural, and prepare them for the diverse world, not to mention the diverse city of New York. Being able to speak and read in a different language is a game changer for our students. We already pre-K have dual language programs in Spanish, in Mandarin, Italian, Russian, Bengali. But you see, that's not enough for us in New York. So we're adding French, Haitian Creole, Hebrew, and Japanese to our programs, bringing our total number to 107 dual language programs across the city. Now, it's not enough, and we know that there are communities, our Korean community, for example, who want a program. We are committed to working with our communities who don't yet have a dual language program to build those programs right here in our city. And this is how we embrace diversity, we reflect our communities, and we prepare our future global citizens and leaders right here in the classrooms of the New York City Public Schools. We're ensuring that even our youngest learners see themselves and can be themselves from the very first day they enter a New York City public school. In our dual language programs, in all of our 3K and pre-K programs, we want our students to see themselves and be able to express themselves. They are foundational, and they're changing lives for students and families who would otherwise not have this opportunity. So on behalf of the 20,000 new families in all 5 boroughs and on behalf of the 1.1 million students, I want to say a major muchas gracias and thank you to Mayor Bill de Blasio, to our city council, to our congressman, for your work in helping to ensure that we have these culturally relevant, culturally uplifting programs from the very earliest of ages in the New York City public schools. Thank you, gracias, and let's get our students in school.
Amen. Well done. I want you to hear from one more speaker because the work he's doing and his organization is doing is so important, not just here in New York City, but all over the country. The Hispanic Federation is focused on educational equity, and they're focused on ensuring that dual language programs really spread because they understand that the powerful impact they have on our children. And this is the work of the Federation that has been going on for a long time because it is not always easy. And these are ideas that have had to be spread and developed, but it's been the leadership of the Hispanic Federation has played a very big role in ensuring that people understand that these are ideas we need to see more and more of. So it's my honor to introduce the president of the Hispanic Federation, Jose Calderon.
Can I use this? I'm not that short yet. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, really. After yesterday's dismal Super Bowl that we watched, we needed good news. The city needed good news.
Good news story.
And this is a good news story. If you needed a good news story and to get over what happened yesterday, this is it. I am thrilled to be here because dual language is something that we have fought for such a long time. And pre-K, right, has been something we have fought for such a long time. And no other leader in the city has done more for our children, for our families than this mayor because of his focus on pre-K and dual language programs. He deserves a big round of applause. Let's give it up for the mayor. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Of course, I want to thank our wonderful chancellor, who really, again, has shaken up our system in a really good way, right? Really, again, looking at ways that we can transform education here in our city. And that is, of course, a credit to our Chancellor Carranza, but the leadership of the mayor in bringing him in. And, of course, our Congressman Espaillat, our council member Rodriguez, and all of the leaders that are here. Because it takes a village. It takes all of us pushing in the same direction, moving our kids forward. I was born not too far from here to Dominican immigrant parents many moons ago, and my parents understood, right? They had a limited education, but they understood the value of us getting a good education. And they knew that as immigrants to this city, like all other immigrants, that we would learn English. And that was essential for them. But it was also important, Mr. Mayor, that we didn't forget our roots, that it wasn't going to be addition by subtraction, that we stay true to our heritage, our Dominican heritage, and that we learned Spanish. Back then, again, many moons ago, without giving how old I am, but many moons ago, there were no options for somebody like me. There were no options for my parents. The only thing that they can do to make sure that I would stay connected to our culture, our heritage, and most importantly, right, because this is what embodies culture and heritage, our language. And so what do? At great cost, financially and emotionally, they sent us back to Dominican Republic. They sent me and my brother back to Dominican Republic, and it was the only way to ensure that I would get a formal education in Spanish. Brought us back, learned English, right? Obviously, able to communicate in both languages. But the great news of today is that parents, immigrant parents, multilingual parents throughout the city, no longer have to make those difficult, in fact, impossible decisions, sending their kids back home so that they can stay connected to their roots and learn another language. What my parents wouldn't give today to have the opportunity being presented to parents today as a result of the leadership of Mayor de Blasio. What they wouldn't give today to really, again, maintain and keep their kids next to them. And so today, it is great news because parents all across the city will have that opportunity. And let me say, because I think this is a really important point, it's not just the foreign-born parents, it's not just immigrant parents that are going to benefit from these enhanced pre-K programs. It is very much American-born parents right here that only speak English who will benefit now from their kids learning Japanese, learning Hebrew, learning French, Haitian Creole, Spanish, of course, and so many other languages. And Mr. Mayor, I think you know this incredibly well. Very wealthy parents in this city for years, in fact, for decades, have paid a lot of money to give that gift to their kids. Not available to working families, but today that has changed, and it has changed under this leadership because we recognize the value of language. We recognize the value of diversity and that it is an asset. It is an asset that for far too long has not been given its proper due. And the mayor is doing so, the chancellor is doing so, and so I couldn't be happier. I tell you, I have 2 teenage daughters, and what I wouldn't give to be able to turn back the clock, to have them start their formal education learning Mandarin or learning French or Haitian Creole, et cetera, et cetera. What an incredible gift that would be for them. So today, things have changed, and I'm going to say this briefly in Spanish. Before I do that, though, I'm looking at Marissa to say, emphasize this point, because this is a really important point. This would not have happened without mayoral control. It simply wouldn't have. If this mayor, with his values, right, which were an underpinning and the reason that so many New Yorkers supported him, without the power of mayor control, this would not have happened, even if he shares the values that we shared for a long time in communities to say, we need more pre-K programs. We need to be able to have universal pre-K, and we need dual language programs. Without mayor control, it would not have happened. And so we need to continue to fight to make sure that this mayor and future mayors have mayoral control. So en español, amen, right? El alcalde de Blasio, el canciller Carranza, realmente es un placer de estar con ustedes hoy en día para anunciar este aumento de acceso de enseñanza del lenguaje dual. Este otoño, 47 escuelas de pre-kinder, early education, pre-kinder, nosotros decimos, yo crecí no muy lejos de acá, de padres dominicanos que realmente entendieron la importancia de enseñarme el español, pero la única forma de enseñarme español era mandarme a la República Dominicana. Era la única opción que yo tenía en esos años y que mis padres tenían para asegurar que yo aprendiera el español. Hoy en día, mis padres, ¿no? Si estuvieran acá, yo estaba a punto de comenzar mi escuela, no tendría que tomar esa opción. Aquí hoy en día, a través de toda esta ciudad, hay programas de pre-kinder y también de lenguaje dual que le puede enseñar a los niños no solamente español, pero sino otros idiomas que son realmente regalos, ¿no? Regalos preciosos para nuestros niños. Imagínese usted tener un hijo que pueda hablar mandarín, que tenga un hijo que pueda hablar japonés, que pueda tener un hijo que hable francés. El gran beneficio que se le otorga a esos niños en términos de prospectos económicos, ¿no? De desarrollo de trabajo, en términos de el aspecto social en esta ciudad tan diversa. Entonces, hoy en día, todo ha cambiado realmente gracias al liderazgo del alcalde que tenemos hoy en día. Tenemos que asegurar que luchemos por el control de la alcaldía en términos del sistema de educación, porque solamente así podemos realizar programas e iniciativas tal como la tenemos. Quiero agradecer a todo el grupo que está aquí, los padres obviamente, que realmente siguen empujando a nuestros niños para adelante. Tengo dos grandes líderes que quiero reconocer. Ramón Peguero, que es el presidente de Committee for Hispanic Children and Families, say that in Spanish, y también, aplausos para él, y Soledad Isiano, que viene de ACDP, una organización que está aquí ubicada en Washington Heights, y realmente son líderes como ellos, tal como el canciller, tal como el alcalde, nuestro congresista y concejal, que están empujando para arriba nuestra comunidad, y por eso estamos muy, muy agradecidos. Gracias.
All right, everyone, I want to say thank you, and I want everyone, please, make it a mission to spread the word. And I know our friends here in the outreach team will do it. Let's spread the word to all parents. Pre-K applications open now. 3K applications open now. Open up a world of possibilities for your children. Sign up today. And once again, let's thank all these great folks who are doing this great work in the community. Thank you.